So the first challenge of this build is processing this piece of plywood that I got from Home Depot into 1.5-inch strips that I can then glue together to create the bar top. So what you see me doing here, along dancing with my awesome daughter, who's being an excellent helper, is marking out the places where I'm going to start cutting this piece of plywood. Now I'm not fancy enough to have a true track saw, but I've found that if you just use an offcut like what I have from this OSB, as long as an edge of it is straight, it works as a pretty good cutting guide. So I'm going to set that up and use my circular saw to cut off the slices. Now here's a quick tool tip. When you're using a circular saw, it's important to put the blade on in the right way. You see that smoke there? Yeah. This is me realizing that I am cutting backwards with this blade. Oh well. Let's get back to how this is supposed to be working. With all the pieces cut, it's now time to glue them together. Now, each of these pieces is about 3/4 of an inch wide. I want the total counter to be about 18 inches wide, which means that I have several glue ups to do. I'm going to apply the glue on each face, press them together, clamp them while I'm gluing the next piece, unclamp them, and then add the next piece in, clamp it, and then get back to work. This took a couple hours. Once the glue had time to dry, it was time for some sanding. Don't worry about that. I love sanding. Definitely love sanding. Yep, sanding's the best. Cannot get enough of sanding. Okay, let's make a deal. You just pretend that you just watched me use all of these belts on this sander, and we'll just move along. Okay, once the bar top was sanded, it was time to give a little bit of a haircut. Well, would you look at that? Much better. Okay, here I'm going to have to make a little bit of a design pivot. Something came up when I was playing with some of the offcut from the plywood, and I think this is going to be necessary to be able to make sure this countertop stays together when we're actually using it. Okay, so let me explain what I'm saying here. This plywood is construction grade, like what you get at Home Depot. The problem with that is that the plies are not always adhered very well. As you see, it cracked between the plies, not on my bond line. So I had to come up with something to fix that. So my solution to this problem was to take some mahogany that I had in my shop and inlay it into the bottom of the bar top. Now this effectively connected all the individual plies across the whole width of the bar top, which allowed them to spread the load and prevent cracking when in use. Once the inlay was done, it was time to continue on with adding a round over detail on all the edges of the bar top. And you see here I put down tape. The goal was to keep that from chipping out as I was cutting. Looking back at it now, I don't think that was worth the trouble. With the round over completed, the shaping of the bar top is 99% done. But I wanted to do some hand sanding before I did any finishing, so I had to get into the right mindset for that. skip. Okay, finishing time. I decided to start off with Danish oil because I wanted to boost the contrast of the plywood, and I really like that amber tone that comes from using oil. However, they say you have to wait about 3 days for the oil to fully cure before following it up with polyurethane. So I had to wait. Once the oil had fully cured, I proceeded to put down polyurethane. The process for this is you put down a coat, you wait for it to dry, and then you hit it with a light sanding, and you repeat the process until you have 3 coats down. Look, I'll just be honest. I can only make sanding so interesting. Now if I have to show any more footage of me sanding this countertop, I'm gonna lose it. Let's just do ourselves both a favor and skip to installation. Installation of the bar top was pretty straightforward. I took some steel braces, I mounted them first to the bar top, lining them up with each of these hardwood inlays that I had put in earlier, and then I attached it all to the wall. Oh, and we got these really cool bar stools to complete the look. Pretty nifty, huh? Anyways, you ready to see the finished look? First, let's take one last look at the before. And now, the after.
Daddy and Mom and me did it on the wall. Me! Are you done? Me!